Hi folks, welcome back to another short video. It is still about 3:20. It is still April 8th, Tuesday, 15.1 degrees centigrade. This one now says 60. My batteries are all nice and charged up. Look at that nice green light there. There we are. Well, this one's a story. I took a run to, I think it's called Newburgh Steel. I grew up near Newburgh. As a matter of fact, I still live near Newburgh, so I guess I grew up, lived near, whatever, Newburgh, New York. That's the home of Stewart Airport Base. When I was a kid, Stewart Airport Base was just closing down. And, they were just knocking the houses down and so forth. And I used to go back there with a girlfriend that I had at the time. She had a motorcycle, and the two of us used to ride around back there. And it was so cool, very apocalyptic looking. The houses were gone, but the barbecues were still there. The walk up to the house, the front stoop, the driveway, the road signs, the stop signs, all that crap was still there, but all the houses were gone. When I guess the Army, I don't know if it was an Army base or an Air Force base or both, when they gave the land to New York State, they knocked all the houses down there. They were almost all civilian homes, as a matter of fact. They knocked them down because they needed a buffer zone around the airport, and there we are. So anyway, I went to Newburgh today, and I picked up steel. I decided to go with some pre-made steel, so to speak, the U channel, and I got that stuff there. Anyway, all the steel, before I forget to tell you, was $190. This is known as 16 gauge. Right? Those are 8-foot sections. There are eight 8-foot sections, and then just some scrap plate steel there for what I want to do. So anyway, I had bought this stuff, and I was on my way back here, and a garbage truck was making a left-hand turn. So, being the driver that I am, and impatient, and from New York and all those great things, I'm driving this thing. This thing's got a 5-speed in it. So, popped it out of 5th, double clutch, threw it into 3rd gear, and passed on the shoulder. I should have probably checked my rear view mirror first, because sure enough, there was a Newburgh police officer right behind me. Yes, the lights come on, and I pull over, and he walks up, and he says, "You know why I pulled you over?" And I said, I looked at him and I smiled. I said, "For creating a second lane on the right." And he goes, "You mean crossing the white line and driving on the shoulder?" And I said, "Yeah, that'd probably be your definition of it." And he goes, "Yep, that's why I pulled you over." He goes, "Do you have any explanation?" And I said, "I was trying to save gas. I figured if I came to a complete stop, I would waste gasoline." He looked at me, and he looked at me, and he looked at me, and I'm like, you're going to ask for my license and registration? I know better than to take those things out before the cop gets to you and asks for it, because while you're fumbling around with the glove compartment and all, he can think you're playing with a gun, and you can end up getting shot. So, kept my hands on the steering wheel, kept the smirk off my face, and waited. After a couple of minutes, I realized he was listening to the radio in his car. I was inside, but he was listening to it. And he goes, "Your lucky day. I patrol here. Don't let me catch you again." I said, "Thank you, officer. You have a great day, and we'll see you soon." And he let me go, and I left, so Harvey skated. So all I spent was the $190 on steel, and you can see the few pieces in the back there. There you go. Then I had to fill this pig up with gas, which was $35. By the way, it got almost 25 miles to the gallon, or it got 25 miles to the gallon. Not bad considering the last time I filled it was spring. Then I stopped for a $5 self-serve car wash. Isn't it all nice and shiny? Look how shiny it is. Look at that. I spend most of my time washing underneath the cars, though this one never went out in the salt this winter. I was very, very careful about that, so you guys could see how shiny it is. Anyway, I got back, so this thing started right up. When I wanted to go, she fired right up, no issues. This one gave me the old I have a dead battery, so I used my jump pack, got it fired up, took this one out for a bath, also got it all washed up, kind of trying to get the cars ready for spring. Next thing is oil changes. I got to do oil changes all around and all of that. Some of you guys who've watched my channel for a while, I don't know, you guys are probably familiar with this. I don't know if the Hack and Pack shop there, Pisser watches this, but this thing is starting to have radiator mount rot problems. Look, right, so the lower radiator supports are about shot, and what happens is the radiator sags, the fan begins to clang right here, and right now it's not clanging because I got to kind of support it, but that's something else I need to do. I really need to do something with the supports. So this thing needs a battery, needs some help with its radiator supports, and I think that's all she needs. Other than that, I mean, it could use a little buff on the old headlights here. They're starting to get foggy, but I think that's it. I think you're good. Other than that, that thing doesn't need anything. This one's also going to need an inspection sticker soon. Right, she's doing May. So, the truck story, the steel story. Oh, Newburgh Steel. Newburgh Steel is one of the biggest steel sales places in my area. I guess you could go down Westchester, or maybe up toward Kingston. There's something, I don't know about Putnam County or Dutchess if they got anything, but anyway, Newburgh's one of the big ones for the area, and I mean they have cranes and overhead lifts and all kinds of stuff like that for moving the steel around. They have pretty rough looking guys, and one of the owners used to be there, a heavy guy used to be there, and he was you know, he should rest in peace, but he was kind of a nasty prick. And one time I went in there and I don't know, I bought about $100 worth of steel, and he kind of, for no reason at all, he told me how my purchase of $100 worth of steel wasn't shit to him and his business. And I'm like looking at him like, why are you telling me that unless you don't want me to come here anymore? So generally speaking, I haven't been there in a while. I read in the paper that he died, so I figured, given his demise, let me go back. Maybe there's new owners or something. Turns out, I don't know if it's his brother or a long time salesman in there, but he waited on me today. He was very polite, and I mean, he was cool. So sometimes, you know, owners of businesses don't do businesses any good. His yard help is kind of interesting. He's got like 3 American folks and 3 Hispanic folks. And the American guys look like they've been there forever. As a matter of fact, one of the guys, I remember the story that a torch popped and threw metal around, and he lost an eye. So he was there with his eye patch. He was considering he's my age or younger. He's had a tough run, man. He looks like he was limping around. His hands, you know, my hands are pretty gnarly, but his hands look like heck. Even his joints were all much thicker, and his fingers were all twisted up, probably from breaking them, moving steel around. But anyway, the guys were really cool. They cut the steel in 8-foot lengths for me, and that's for the lift project. Why didn't I stay with this steel for the lift project? First of all, these guys weren't quite long enough. I wanted them longer for the base. That's the first reason. The second reason, these and these are J channel or U channel, whatever. And I was afraid that because of that they would be able to torque, which means I'd actually have to cut off a piece of pipe and put it in every one of these. And even with that, I was afraid of torquing. I have a tendency to build with the idea that sooner or later I'm going to overload it because I'm that guy. So I figured I'd spend a little bit of money. There's probably those of you who out there say, you know, for $300 you could get the Harbor Freight motorcycle lift. And you're probably right, and it would probably be even a better deal and so forth. But I kind of want to build this. My thoughts are, not only is it going to be kind of a lift platform, but I'd like to set it up with some magnetic mounts on it, so as I'm using a tool I can just put it on the magnetic mount, you know, just clip it to the magnetic bar, you know, these things. Right, so that all your stuff could line up nice, all my stuff can line up nice. So that's what I'm thinking of. Also, that'd be a nice big work table, right? Go with a nice flat top on it. Maybe, I'm not sure if I'm going to use the Formica there. I gotta take a look at dimensions and so forth, but they got that big Formica top in the back there. Maybe cut it out. So that's the tabletop. So now I have a tabletop I could set the height to. A lot of times I'll see Musty One working on his stuff, and he'll have like the single cab up on the lift, and he'll be using his other platform kind of as a work table, also with the bikes and all. So just trying to get myself a bit more organized. Something else I truly need to do, I need to, like that Easy Go over there, she needs to fire up so she could pull out. And now I'm beginning to think about putting the lift on this side, right? Have it so that the back of lift is that way, so the upright is that way, the lift this way, and either backing that thing in such that the lift is underneath it, or keeping that kind of where it is, but it'd be nice to be able to drive it out when I need it, and having the lift set up right here, the tools right along here, you know, compressor and so forth. Having the end of the lift there may complicate the pull down for the ladder. I have to kind of check to see how things fit. So yeah, I want to start making this so that I can work on this stuff. There are people of various ages that watch my channel. There are, you know, young folks who, if they gotta kneel down on the ground and crawl around, not that big a deal. Then there are people more my age, as you start getting into your mid 50s, late 40s, mid 50s, you know, late 40s, 50s, maybe even 60s and 70s. You realize that if you want to keep doing this stuff, you got to start making making it easier on yourself. Rolling around on the ground is not the smartest thing to do. Generally speaking, I still do my oil changes on the cars and trucks. But even with that, if you get a coupon for like $25 or $19.95 at Valvoline, and you get a filter, and you get 5 quarts of conventional oil, and they're gonna, check all the crap for you. You really got to scratch your head and say, let me see. One of those containers of Valvoline oil at Walmart, conventional, cost me $13. A filter just about takes me to $20, and they're going to do it for $20. So I'm making somewhere between $0 and $5 on this deal. So I'm going to crawl around and get tired for somewhere between $0 to $5. Maybe it's not a bad idea to just put it in the schedule, and when you're going by the Valvoline place or the Quickie Lube or whatever you guys have, you just swing through there with the coupon, get it done, and keep moving. I always tell the guys who check my cars, don't mess with the air filter, don't mess with the transmission, don't screw with anything. I'm here for an oil change or an inspection. Don't screw with anything else. Don't take stuff apart and break my car. So I always tell them that up front. And then, should they do that, they know that they're going to be in a whole heap of trouble because I told them not to. Right? Basically, the repair is going to be on them instead of me. One other thing to note from a hoarding point of view, there were a couple of tires floating around here. I took a few minutes yesterday afternoon, seeing as I'm such an expert with the bead breaker and all, to break the tires off the rims and get rid of the tires. The tires were completely shot. I think you guys saw them. They were like floating around on there and all that. I guess what I'm trying to do is I brought in 4 new tires, right? These 1, 2, 3, and 4 over there. And I got rid of the front tire from here. So 1. I got rid of those 2 over there, and I got rid of one other one that I can't show you where it was. I mean, you can see the rims all stacked up, right? 1, 2, 3 rims. And there's 2 more over there. So basically I got rid of 4 or 5 tires. So I brought in 4 and I got rid of 4 or 5. That's what I want to do, particularly with the tires, because tires do not get better with age. Might as well get rid of them. Anyway, I warned you guys this might become a warm, long video. So I think I got one more to do. We'll catch up with you then. Folks, live, love, and have a great time. Remember, keep your tires down, your heads up. Thanks for watching, commenting, and subscribing. Take care now.